Oh gosh, your cameras didn't show up.
Oh, shiny.
There we go. All hail Thor, hi Shiny! Welcome in everyone.
Yay.
We are on episode 2 of Autumn in Oakbend. Thank you for the hydrate.
Oh,
Yes, you need it today.
Absolutely. It is officially autumn. We are officially in autumn, in Oakbend in autumn. I think that is just absolutely delightful. So, when we last left off, our wonderful villagers had been investigating a perplexing pastry problem wherein a gigantic 2-foot pie had been displayed in the town center on the leaping of the hop tops, but no one took credit. They have found that the pie contains clues as to the sabotage of others' pies in the contest. And they have talked to Efferson at the Sage Sausage, found out that Daffodil, Holly's dog from the bakery, came in and snuck off with his prize sausages, and Holly had her salt and sugar switched. And just as they were heading over to the winery, a cry came out. And that is where we left off. But before we jump in, we are going to go around, introduce our lovely cast, starting with, I think we'll start with Cher today.
My name is Cher. I'm known as Gamer Cher on Twitter and That Gamer Cher on Instagram and Twitch. And today I am playing your Raven Folk Puffwing Sky, like the big blue.
And then we will go to Trey.
hey, I'm Trey. I'm playing Rusty. I usually stream on the Nat 1 Fun channel. Rusty's the best character I have ever made. Yeah.
I love that.
Heart-shaped tomatoes.
And the heart-shaped
That's cool.
tomatoes, which we love
Juicy
so much.
ube.
Juicy.
And
Y'all aren't going to
ube,
let
I
me
forgot
live
about-
that down.
How could you forget about the
Juicy
ube?
ube.
Ube. Oh my goodness. Going clockwise, we are with Kay.
Hey, it's me, Kay, of the She and They variety. You can find me at Critical K with 2 Ks on the interwebs. And tonight I will be playing Irock, he, him, our deerkin, who's about to rush off to find out what's causing this screaming.
Mm-hmm. Very good. And last but not least, we have Indrani.
Hi, my name is Anjani. My pronouns are she, they. I will be playing Titli. Titli is a resident park ranger and a floor adopt, so looks like a big blue monarch come to life. She's very cute and I love her very much. Her pronouns are she, her. You can find me on the internet as at Nonagon Dice. I'm a handmade dice maker and TTRPG streamer. I'm also the co-founder of Daisies and Dragons, and we stream every Wednesdays at 10 a.m. EST or at twitch.tv/Daisies and Dragons. Poof, I need cooler intros like the rest of y'all, but happy to be here. Good
Everyone's
morning.
intros are lovely. And I am your storyteller, Rosie. I am a charity, TTRPG, variety, crafter, lots of things streamer, trying to find my niche. We'll get there eventually. I am Sweet Rosie B everywhere on the internet. And I am so overjoyed to be putting together this TTRPG, this actual play. I've been wanting to play it for forever. Episode 1 was phenomenal, and we are now on to episode 2. We are raising money for Starlight Children's Foundation. It is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Starlight Children's Foundation provides games, wagons, fun hospital gowns, just things to make hospital stays for kids a little bit more enjoyable, a little less scary. And I absolutely adore what they do. I have Indrani sound up as high as it can go. Let me see.
I think I can do that by just adjusting my mic a little better. I think that should be fine.
Okay.
Let me know if it is better or worse.
Sounds better to
Sorry.
me. Now that's why we ask at the beginning. Does everyone sound good? Thank you, Shiny. So,
And Johnny, you should just yell. Just yell the whole time.
just scream the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Scream. Just be your
That
best,
is-
Hey Kid.
I have told Jay so many times that I am Hey Kid. Shout
my
out to Eusebius Ben.
Oh, I need to play that. That was another one that was on the docket for what I wanted to do for my first actual play. This one just snuck in, but it looks
This
so
one's
delightful.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's a great game for sure, and there's so much to be unpacked with that. I love it.
So good, so good. Well, we have all those intros out of the way, so we are going to jump into the night's episode after our little intro screen. So hang in there. We will be right back, I guess. Just watch the video. It's great.
It's cute.
So good.
And we're back. I totally didn't just drop all of my DM notes on the floor. Don't need them. Love it so much. It's so comfy. There are so many buttons. Look at all the buttons. Yes. I've been waiting to wear this. I wanted to wear this for episode 1, but the vest wasn't in yet, and I was very sad. So now I get to wear it, and I'm very happy. What's up? Oh, the sound is gone. What happened?
Let's see.
Is everyone good? Yay,
Are we
Obs!
back? Let us know. Okay. Thank you.
The villain of every
No
story.
matter how
Yes.
great your production quality is, if you don't have tech issues on Twitch,
Of
are you even a
course.
streamer?
Are you even?
Honestly.
Are you
Oh
a
gosh.
streamer? No, facts.
Every
If-
stream. Every
Hashtag streamer live. Mhm.
Every single one. We were admiring my outfit. That's all that was.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
We can do that whole thing again if you want. Like,
Oh,
I
yes,
can keep talking about
please,
how
just
great that outfit is.
Compliment
Oh.
me.
Rosie, you look amazing.
And now everything froze. Why did everything freeze? There we go.
Oh no.
6 planets in retrograde,
Okay.
folks. I'm gonna blame it on that.
Indeed.
So, as we said when we left off, Sky and Rusty were just leaving Efferson's The Sage Sausage. Tithly and Iraq, you were on your way to the winery, the Winsome Winery, when you heard a couple cries out. What are you gonna do?
Well, how I have to ask, how can I carry IROC if I tried? And would they be okay with it?
Huh.
So that we could just fly over so that we avoid any like crowd so we can get right to the source, you know?
IROC
And
would be
not
okay with it. Definitely okay with it.
Go ahead,
feel like-
Tithly, and roll a vigor check.
a vigor check. Okay, you
Mhm.
got it.
First roll. First
Ooh.
roll.
That
Here we
is-
go.
Well, let me look for it. There's so many abilities. Give me a second.
Vigor is one of your attributes. So that'll be on the left.
Okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
It,
I swear I am looking.
it's the third one after fidget.
Yeah, I see it.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Okay, yeah, you
What
can
did I
carry
roll?
Iraq, no
Ooh.
problem.
Whoa.
Yeah,
He's
IROC
slender,
literally does
yeah.
the universal sign of uppy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I take off flying and like my wings start to like shimmer, and as I'm in that motion of like lifting off, I'll also be like, picking you up, is that okay? And then
That is
I'll
fine.
just get IROC and I'll take them with me so that we can get to the source of this commotion.
Faster.
Amazing. As
Yeah.
you fly, it's not a terribly far distance, so you kind of go up, are in the air for maybe half a minute, and you get this sort of aerial view of the winery. It has sort of crescent shape vineyards behind a wonderful sprawling ranch house. You see a puffwing, that is the source of the cries, doing some tending in a garden, and on the porch, a deerkin sipping tea unbothered.
Hmm.
Excuse me, we heard quite a disturbance. Are you all right?
Oh, that hurts! Joe, are you sure we have to rip this up today? It's the leaping and all that now, says the puffwing, kind of throwing hurtful glances towards the deerkin, who is not lifting a hoof to help at all. And as you land and come down, oh, maybe you can help me. Well, this is rather my fault.
Rosie, you keep cutting in and out a little.
Yes.
Yeah, for me too, Rosie.
Let me see if I can fix that. He looks at
We're
me
being
low.
tested today,
I
but it's
know,
fine.
right?
It is autumn in Oakbend, and nothing
And
can
the
get in the
mother
way
of
of that.
and the mother of all sunspots, apparently. Ay, 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 ay.
Apparently. I'm
Oh.
looking at the bitrate. I will keep an eye on that. I don't know what I can do to fix that,
That's
unfortunately.
fine.
It seems fine now.
It
Is
seems
it
Funnily
fine.
enough, as is always the case.
interesting?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm going
Yeah.
to just keep the mic near my mouth
Okay.
and we will help. We'll see if that helps. The puffling has exclaimed that he is tearing up these sort of thorny, viney growths. They are bramble bushes. They have these wonderful berries on them, but they are quite thorny, and they are encroaching on a lovely bed of starlight's flowers. And as he is struggling and looking to you for help, the deerkin pipes up to the puffwing. Do you know what those thorns are? They are the material manifestation of poor planning, Andros. Why are you planting berries? Andros, don't you think they'll creep up on the house? Andros, you know how hard it is to remove brambles. Andros, I am washing my hooves of this. Do you remember any of these moments? At any point, you could have cut short those vile roots. Yet here we are, and I'm not going to lift a hoof to help you. He goes back to sipping his tea. The puffling looks a little bit hurt. You know these villagers as Andros Care, the puffwing, and Joe the deerkin. They run the winery together, the Crescent Moon Winery together. They are
I
lovely.
Okay.
uh
Um,
I think I might have overreacted a little bit, I say as I set IROC down.
it's okay. I honestly had the same concerns. It's not often you hear screams that aren't of adulation here.
Exactly.
But
Oh, well, okay. We should warn them and maybe see
things
if we
should
can
get,
help them out a little bit.
yeah, I think I think we can. And sort of meandering over without as much fear, Irok will kneel down next to where Andros is with these brambles.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it? So is Andros cutting, or like, do they have an implement, or what are they doing?
Andros is, the poor thing, is trying to rip them up with his bare hands.
Get-
Yeah, I just heard Andros, and then I
He
lost you.
is trying to rip them up with his bare hands.
Oh,
No tools, no anything. What is going on? Yeah,
That's-
I'm getting hiccups too on my end.
I don't know. Yeah.
Don't like that. But Andros is trying to rip these up with his bare hands.
Andros, why are you being so unkind? That's not how you live with nature. You should know this by now. You operate such a wondrous place. And Irok will look over at Tiffany and give a little wink, and is gonna lean down, and he's gonna slip his fingers into the earth and let his thumbs, almost like you would a lover's cheek, caress along the roots. And as someone with flora
Oh, come on.
communicate
Mhm.
with these trees, these brambles, to get them to grow in a more suitable stance. They have to work in harmony.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, everything is just kind of freezing up right now. I'm so sorry.
Let's take a moment
Okay.
if you'd like and just figure out tech.
Yeah, do we want to pause?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's pause
Okay.
here. I'm going to see if I can fix something really quickly. I'm so sorry. It seems like we're okay
Mhm.
now. Nothing hiccuped during that whole lovely spiel.
Wonderful.
So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. So, I'm not sure where the hiccuping began on the other end,
I
but I
know.
know,
Maybe walk
I
us
yeah,
through
know.
what I rock.
Yeah.
yeah.
You were
So,
going to do
I don't know.
something with Flora friendship?
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so he will use his thumb almost as if one might caress a lover's cheek against the roots there, and he's just going to lean in and speak to the plants and be like, "This is not how we should get along. I know you're growing and that growth is beautiful, but you should shift your direction. You should grow in companion with your fellow flowers and friends here. Don't you think that would be more amenable? And then you can spread your seeds and berries and there'll be less harshness in the world."
Go ahead and roll your Flora friendship.
Right, for friendship, where do you fall under? You're right here.
Yep.
Oh God, that's a
Got
wits
this.
thing. I am not very witty.
Ooh,
I
Oof,
I could assist you with this because I have
that would be nice.
proficiency. I'm good with Flora friendship, being a park ranger and all that. So um if I see like a little bit of trouble convincing the berries, I'll also walk over and just like, sort of squat down near the roots of the berries and just mumble, they're right. I mean, the berry, it's delicious, and I don't want. Look, they could make wine out of it. There's a way of them figuring it out. Only if you just worked with them, it would be really nice. Just think about it, okay? Just please, come on,
I
go
don't
you could
see
do
the
this.
ahead.
answer.
Roll your Flora friendship or gardening, whichever you'd prefer.
I'll go with for friendship. It's an occupational
Oh,
skill.
hell
Oh,
yeah. Dang.
so
Titley's
Ira,
like
yeah, go ahead.
her way of convincing anybody is like, that's
I
kind
just,
of how
Maybe
she
just
goes.
do it.
I just, I have this beautiful picture of like IROC talking to them. And the plants are like, I don't know. And then Tiffany's like, hands on their hips, looking at them like, you better listen to him.
And that's almost
It's
exactly how it goes. Irak, you dig your hands into the soil and you feel the resistance. These are stubborn plants. They are just rough and sturdy and stubborn, and they don't want to move. It's nice here. But then Tithley comes in and is like, no. And
It's more like you can be vine or you can be compost. Pick one.
and you see almost as if by magic the vines kind of recede, the thorns kind of shrink down a little bit so they're not quite as sharp. This is now a much friendlier plant. It's still there. It's not uprooted, but it is
Yeah,
not as aggressive anymore.
there you go, friend. And you can grow up. You've got lines there. You just don't grow out. Keep to your space.
Heavens to
Share.
Betsy, Rusty. I think in the distance, in the far, far distance, I hear the sound of floral intimidation. Oh my god.
It's
Whatever is
very
that on
So
the
awkward.
wind?
Not me. Okay, Titley
No,
lacks the
no,
ability to be mean.
not mean,
Or
just
like,
assertive. It's
oh,
yeah,
different.
yeah, tough love a little
Tough
bit
love.
sometimes with
Sometimes they need it.
brambleberries.
Those
I love
brambleberries
it.
need it.
And you see,
Um,
Um,
go ahead.
Titley gets to her feet and turns and faces the other two and takes her little notepad, or sorry, her notebook out, which has all her to do list, which includes her daily checklist of things she's gonna do. And she takes her little magical pen out and clicks it and starts writing. I will make sure that I come by once a week to give them a stern talking to if they need it. If they are misbehaving, you can always reach out to me at the park ranger's office, or you can even come by Madge's greenhouse. Just Let me know, okay?
They start acting up.
Oh, now that that scuffle's out of the way, Andros, Joe, we had come to speak with you. There seems to be some strange interactions going on at the pie contest, we've noticed, and there was a weird little pie, and he'll like pull out the sort of drawing that they've got. We thought this, and he'll point to like the burnt sort of crested moon,
Mhm.
might be in reference to your winery. Have you had any issues?
They both look at it. Andrew's kind of looking proud that the problem was solved. Like, haha, take that, Joe. the vines are gone. And is kind of looking at it very concerned, brow furrowed. Joe looks at it and goes, "Well, Andros did mention that our poor pie got burned and he didn't have time to make another. So that might be what this is in reference to. I mean, it's just a matter of the oven running a little bit hot. It's not anything that is, suspicious, I wouldn't think. Just things go
Hmm.
wrong. What else has gone wrong? It sounds like there's more to do here."
Well, Madge had their pie stolen, and well, not stolen, a bunch of crows ate it. And we went to the Bright Blue Bakery, and Daffodil was like just, terrorizing the pie contest a little bit, and we tried to figure that out. But there were a lot of crows out there too, and um
Someone had swapped
maybe,
salt for sugar as well at the blue pie
yeah.
at the Blue Moon Bakery.
Hmm.
Been-
Andros, you were just there this morning. Did you see anything odd? And Andros kind of like, "No, I was there quite early to pick up some extra flour for the pie. Didn't see anything untoward."
Did you see anyone hanging around the vineyard? Maybe.
Well, no one in particular, but we do have a bit of a pest problem in the vineyard itself.
Oh.
Little,
Like the brambles.
oh, nothing like that. Something has been nibbling on the leaves. We think it's a little weasel, but we can't seem to catch sight of it that often. But that's been our only real issue besides, the dwindling sales as we get into winter. Our vintages are more of a summer thing, and Joe's shoulders drops. Joe doesn't have pronouns. Um, and he's like, "Yes, well, that's our doing. We did market them for the summer, but it is always a little sad to watch the sales dip off this time of year. We were hoping that with this pie that we put out that people would get into cooking wines. The pie was made with our lovely blue wine. Uh, but again, it burned, unfortunately."
Um, could we take a look at your oven, perhaps, see if it was I mean, I don't know who would do this, but maybe it's some little somebody chose chaos this morning, it seems like, and I'm just trying to figure out who it is.
Yeah, it's all a bit strange.
You're welcome to look, and it is at about this time that Sky and Rusty catch up and are now at the Crescent Moon Winery.
Oh, how was the sausage fest? Sausage. Sage sausage.
Well, our dear proprietor of the establishment was a little persnickety, but understandably so. We were able to help him adjust his oven because apparently it was off kilter somewhat, and we were able to help him. He was very happy about it. I might even be leading a tour sometime soon to his establishment, maybe an eating tour. He was very happy with that notion.
You are truly my
There,
favorite entrepreneur, Sky. Have I told you that? It's very inspiring, really. I
it
wish I
really
could be
is.
like you.
Oh shucks, hon. Well, now what seems to be happening here?
Further oven issues.
Oh,
They
hmm.
don't think there's any foul play though, but we were just thinking of maybe investigating the oven, and there's also the issues with the vines. The leaves are being nibbled at by something that
Something.
so
A
I
clue. Hmm.
yes. Um
The crow nibble leaves.
do crows
Oh.
nibble leaves?
Oh,
Do I know this? Sorry.
roll.
Hmm.
What kind of roll would this be? Fauna, friendship, random facts. Roll a random facts, Tiffany. Do crows
Well, it
nibble
was
leaves?
IROC.
Oh, okay.
It was IROC who first asked, so
Irock, you go ahead and see if you know if crows nibble
Oh
leaves.
God, this is not. Oh wow. Okay, I got a natural 20. Hey,
Crows do
Sheriff.
not nibble leaves.
crows do not nibble
Okay.
leaves. He's like
Decisively.
decisively. He's like, no, they don't. So it can't be. It can't be the crows. So it's not someone commanding crows because there's crows at one place, but it can't be crows at another.
Right, you've
Mm,
noticed this within your own garden that the crows will absolutely go after like the fruits and the berries and the vegetables, but not the leaves
But
themselves.
not the leaves.
Yeah.
I like to call them my little cousins. They don't they go after worms, sometimes caterpillars, definitely seeds. Ooh, seeds are so good. Seeds and berries. But that's what I would have expected. Someone nibbling at the berries, maybe not the leaves. That sounds very peculiar.
It's very
Just check
strange.
the oven. Rusty, do you want to
Yeah.
help look at the oven?
Sure, yeah, I'll come along.
And Joe kind of gently, gingerly gets out of Joe's it's a rocking chair on the front porch and opens the door
Mhm.
to it's sort of an off building from the main ranch house, the main like winery. You figure this is like their actual home aside from the business. And it's a small sort of cottage affair. Just it's small, there's a sitting area, there's the very very tidy kitchen. It is practically spotless, and then a few small rooms off to the side. So who wants to go ahead and investigate this oven? I will let two of you do it.
Hmm.
It would
What
be
what ability would that be?
we're going to say it's a noticing ability.
I
Sure,
happen to be
I'll help him.
proficient in noticing.
Okay, so Sky and Rusty, go ahead and roll noticing. Let's see what you
All
can
right.
determine.
Let's see.
Oh,
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 oh.
Little
oh.
better. Little
Beautiful.
better. Don't worry, Rusty. Last time you took the lead on the stove, I learned from you. Let me see what I can do.
Absolutely. Rusty, you are more accustomed to the raw side of cooking, to the juicy ubes, the heart-shaped tomatoes.
Oh yes, my dear. Don't put Sky on that side of things.
Uh,
Oh no. No,
but
ma'am.
Sky, you look at this oven, you inspect it top to bottom, and it seems to be in perfect working order. In fact, with a roll that high, you notice there is not a smell of char that you would expect from an oven that burned a pie just a few hours ago.
Interesting. Y'all, I don't even smell anything smoky in the interior of said stove. Matter of fact, it looks to be in perfect working order. Now, I wonder how could that be possible though, with a pie that ended up being so charred.
Hmm.
Andros,
Yes.
points at points at the sky just said, points at Andros, like, would you like to?
Right.
Oh, we are
Uh,
very thorough about cleaning our kitchen. Joe cannot stand a messy kitchen, so I have this wonderful vinegar-based recipe for cleaning out the stove anytime we use it so that it doesn't stink up the house, because our cottage is rather small.
oh,
Right.
what?
Um,
Hmm.
I Titley tilts her head just a little bit, and she often approaches people with good faith
Mhm.
and takes everybody at face value. And just what they say must be true because why would anybody lie? But do I get the sense that something's being kept from us? Or
Go ahead and roll. We're gonna call this. You can do either snooping or focusing, depending on how you want to play it out.
focusing is an occupational skills.
Go for
I
it.
can go with that.
um,
Wow.
it strikes you as a bit odd because even if that was the case, you figure you'd at least smell vinegar then if it's a vinegar-based solution.
Exactly.
And you can tell that it's definitely been cleaned before, but not super recently. In fact, it does kind of smell like a nice fruity pie still.
Hmm. I walk just a little closer in a very non-imposing manner, and I can't be. I'm tickly, like I'm a big butterfly. Um, I'm like, Andros, is everything okay? Just it doesn't seem like what you're saying is adding up. I mean, it smells like really nice pie in here.
And it was until I burned the bottom, and it's just silly me lost track of time and
Andros,
yes, Diddley?
you look like you're keeping something from us, and I don't know why that is. And I understand if it's something you can't talk about, but the town is having a bit of a rough time right now, and if you if you help us, I think you help the whole town. And but
Hmm.
if you can't, and as long as you're okay, that's fine too. Just
And Andrew's you see him kind of get a little pensive and a little fidgety, and he goes, we best see what's going on with those vines outside. That's what's been bothering me and Joe particularly, along with the diminishing sales. And if our vines aren't doing well, we can't sell as much wine, especially heading into these sort of rougher months. And he just kind of rushes outside.
Uh, I'd like to stop Andros from rushing out.
Okay.
My friend, I don't think you're being very truthful, and this is a time where we need that.
And he gets a little bit quiet again as you've stopped him from going out, and goes, I don't like seeing Joe so upset with the diminishing sales and the problems we're having in the vineyard. I told him I burnt the pie so that if we won, it would be even more of a surprise. The pie turned out fine. I just wanted it to be a bigger deal if we actually won. I know it would mean so much to Joe.
oh,
See, um, maybe it would be a good idea for you both to visit the counseling center. I know that giving your partner a good surprise sounds fun, but keeping things like this is, and then lying and only to change their emotion isn't very healthy, Andros.
I know. I worry about Joe a lot. And I mean, you saw, I
No,
mess up things all the time. I'm addle brained, and I just wanted something to. I wanted the expectations to be set low so that when they succeeded, the prize would
but,
be that much sweeter.
but don't you think you've hurt Joe by lying to them?
And his shoulders droop a little bit, and you're
But
probably
hey,
right.
we can work around this and your concerns, and I'll, sort of gently pat Andrew's shoulder. I think maybe a visit to the counseling center, but also if you're concerned about, the dipping sales, we could work something out. We could do a special wine tasting event at the B&B to help invigorate tours, and Sky could give wonderful tours.
That's right.
We
Now
could do
there, my
pairing.
friend. And Sky will come forward and we'll take him by the hand and pat his hand. Now, no judgments here, but certainly, just like Iraq says, there's plenty of different things that we can do to help you both out. You both are wonderful and you keep such a lovely place. I'd be more than happy to speak with you both, and maybe we can work out a nice little tour of the vineyards and of the establishment. I'm working out new toys all the time as we speak. So I would love to add you to my list.
And a little sheepish smile, and all this is all Joe's endeavor. Joe's done such a marvelous job keeping this up and doing most of it by themselves. Uh, but it's a lot of work, and I want Joe to be happy. I want Joe's endeavor to succeed. I want this to be the best it can be, and I seem to keep muddling it up.
Look,
Maybe I
I
should
don't
go and
see it.
talk.
I don't see it that way at all. This is such a large place. I can't imagine that Joe would be able to run this entire place without you.
You're
And even
You
probably
if
right.
must you must learn to give yourself some credit as well.
You're right. You're right. I think after the holiday is done, Joe and I can go to the wellness services, go to counseling, and maybe talk some of this out because it has been quite tense for a while, and I just want things to be okay between us.
I think that's a really good step. And hey, you know what goes well with wine? Heart-shaped tomatoes. And
Mhm.
I look at Rusty.
Anytime you want some, I got plenty of them. So, stop on by. I'd be happy to provide some for you.
Do you think we could make tomato wine? And you see like the wheels turning. Be very
I don't know about.
romantic.
I have heard of of this thing in a far off land. I think Sky said they might have seen it once. It's called gazpacho.
Yes. Oh dear, let me tell you. And then Sky would probably go on about
Amazing.
So it's cold soup, Tiffany saying as we're all walking back out.
Cold
I
soup.
don't get it.
Listen, dear. Like I said before, putting me on the cooking side of things is not always the best. But anything that doesn't have to be cooked doesn't get overcooked. Put it that way. That's my motto. So,
Love
Cold
it.
soup.
Oh,
well, now
I'm
that
sure
begs
it's
the
great though.
question, though, if that's a bit of a dead end, well, we still have a bit of a mystery on our hands. Although, isn't it interesting if I consult our handy dandy drawing that I did earlier? Uh, there's a crescent that was on that odd pie too.
Yes, the crescent moon. That's what we're thinking. The
Hmm.
and the burning. But I wonder, what if what if this is all just accidents? And what if this person is just telling a story in their pie? Because they didn't sabotage the the winery. It was just what they had heard had happened at the winery.
So you think
Int-
it's someone trying to draw attention to people who might be struggling?
Yeah, maybe people who need help. I think maybe crows just ate Max pie. That just seems actual. But maybe we should check in. While I get the blue baker, maybe they need some help. If they're mixing up salt and sugar, and there was some tenderness going on at the winery where they needed some help. So maybe they're
But
just drawing to places of concern.
but that doesn't explain Daffodil. Maybe they're
Maybe well if they're having some memory issues, Holly, maybe they accidentally left Daffodil out.
Well, I was thinking something's nibbling on their leaves at the winery. Maybe that same thing nibbled on the rope that keeps Daffodil tied up.
You're
Mm.
right. You know what? Maybe looking at those nibbles on the leaves is worth a second look. And I think
we could
Sky would
also
go ahead. Sorry.
we could also talk to the plants, see if they can tell us what might be affecting them. Always, you know. get the guessing work out. So
I would love to. I love it when I watch you do it, Teethley. Let's see. Ooh.
You can head
oh, there's
outside.
a lot of
The
people.
door's open. Joe has returned to Joe's seat on the porch. They're rocking back and forth. Joe's rocking back and forth. You see, like, Joe has Joe's cup of tea and is watching you, just kind of not super interested, but this is a lot of people for a holiday to be visiting a closed winery.
Very fair. I'm gonna walk over to one of the plants that has a lot of nibbled on leaves
Yeah.
and like turn to IROC. I'm like, do you wanna come help?
Of course, I'll always help you.
Love it.
I rest one sort of like blue hand under like maybe just a branch that has a lot of vine, sorry, that has a lot of eaten off leaves, and I say, hey, so we helped with the bramble issue a little bit. I hope you have some more space right now, but your leaves don't look like they're having the best time. Is I mean, everything's not okay. That would be a silly question, but sorry. What is it that's eating your leaves? Like, if do you know? We just want to help.
Yeah, both of you roll a floor friendship, and we'll see what the leaves say.
Reading the leaves.
Okay. All right. So you leaves obviously like can't
Hey,
talk, but you
nice.
have this sort of visceral understanding. And you get not words, but a sense of like irritation, not so much pain, but like ow, like sharp. You get the like implication of sharp, quick, small, like these sort of rapid fire impressions in your mind. And you see out of the corner of your eye, both of you, a little rustling of leaves, maybe 30 feet away from you.
Do you hear that? I whisper softly.
And I think IROC is gonna kneel down a little and just sort of make like whatever the like a more inclusive version of and is just going to try and charm this little creature to come forward, maybe reach into the back of their
Ooh,
pocket. They've had, they bring along these little lunch packets.
right?
Like take a piece of like galette and bite it off and like sort of put it out and then put it some a little closer and you know
Go ahead and roll a noticing check.
I can't sway them with my personality. To come closer. Where is noticing? Okay, that's not too bad.
Okay.
16. There you go.
You see from where that rustling was happening, as you kind of crouch down and get kind of below the leaf line of the vineyard, amongst the sort of bottom branches of these vines of like the vineyard bushes, a very small green saber-toothed weasel. And it is staring at you. It's staring at the galette. It's staring at you. It's staring at the galette. And it darts away.
Oh no. I
Oh
wanna
dear.
I wanna
Do
like
do any of do Sky and Rusty do one of us
At,
notice this creature as well?
at this point, it's a bit of a commotion as you can hear its little like footsteps as it runs away. And it's not being quiet. And there's leaf litter on the ground. So it's like crunch, 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 crunch. And we are now going to begin a chase sequence.
Oh, let's
Poor
go.
I
Sky.
love
Sky
this.
is so literally bird brained about it. It's probably like, Rusty, they talk to the leaves and the leaves move. I love it. I love them watching them do their magic.
Amazing.
That's so lovely. I love all of the characters so much. I need all of you. This is the closest to initiative we're ever going to get in this campaign. Everyone roll a bustle
Boy,
check.
huzzah! Here we go.
Ooh.
Bustle.
Ooh.
Aw.
Okay. So that is Iraq going first. I need you to roll to see if you can find which direction it went into. Roll another noticing check. Okay,
8.
that succeeds. It's kind of circled north of you. What's your movement speed?
It is, I believe, 40. I have a very high
Ooh.
movement speed.
Yes, because you're a
so-
deerkin. Mm-hmm.
As a deerkin, yes,
Mhm.
I am fast. Yeah, it's 40.
Awesome. I am going to have you see if you can catch it. So this might be a very quick chasing because you were already quite close to it and you're fast. Go ahead and roll a fauna friendship to see if it will actually like let itself be caught.
Oh,
Nope.
no.
So again, it kind of does that thing where it pauses, it looks at you. You still have that very tasty piece of pastry in your hand, and it darts again.
No, friend, please. I know a better place for you. This is really not
It's a-
sound.
It's a slippery weasel. Oh
It
dear.
is. Oh no, Rusty, go ahead and roll noticing to see if you can see where it went.
Oh gosh.
Yes, absolutely. Without fail, you beeline in the
Amazing.
direction. What's your movement speed?
30.
30. Okay, you catch up to it. No problem. Go ahead, roll. Whoa, your camera just got real big. Who dropped off?
Share dropped
Oh, we
out.
lost Share for a second.
We
Share.
lost Share. In the meanwhile,
Yes.
look at
That
this
was-
avant-garde camera setup that we have on
Ooh,
stream.
it's like modern
Yeah.
art.
Yeah. Let's all pose and talk about Starlight and the fact that we're raising funds for Starlight Foundation,
Starlight,
which is a
like
great
also
charity.
those stickers. Have you looked to the left of us and or right of
Oh
us,
my
depending on
gosh.
which one we are? Look how adorable they are. Look how amazing these artists are. I was like, hey, look at this cool mask. Isn't this a cool mask? What if there was a deer based off this mask and they came
Right.
through with flying colors? Because
Oh,
look at
they
that, look
did
at
do
that
an
gem.
amazing job. I haven't
Look at
actually
that
seen them
gem of a
side by
man.
side.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this.
Yeah,
This
pretty
semi-acceptable
incredible.
mug with this mask on,
Amazing.
and then that beautiful IROC.
I
It is
love it so
gorgeous.
much. I think I
They're very
have a
talented
mock-up of the sticker sheet. If I can pull it in.
Show us, show us, show
Let
us.
me see.
Show us.
I think I have it. Hold up.
Oh boy.
I can't see Discord right now, so let me know if Share pops back in.
We
I
will let you
nat
know.
20
Wait.
Share out of the call.
Oh, it was too
Oh
much.
no, too powerful. See, this is the problem. Is there's too much power.
Yes,
First,
this is our
Rosie
lovely
Flopper.
sticker sheet. It is so cute.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
It's
my
gorgeous.
so excited.
goodness.
Look at all of our lovely
Look at
characters.
these beautiful people.
And look at the little bees and the
Oh my
ladybug on
God,
my
I
head.
love
What are their
Disney's
names?
little- Oh yeah, didn't we name the bees in the dragonfly?
Yes, you
Oh
named
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah. I have named them. I'm waiting for an opportune moment to introduce them into the narrative. But rest
Oh.
But
assured,
look
they're
at
there.
Rusty's little overalls.
I love
I
his
love
art.
them so much. The art was so good. It was this wonderful artist. It was through Fiverr, and I love using Fiverr. But they're Ukrainian. They were so lovely every step of the
yeah.
way. Bless you.
Oh, we have a person.
Yes, but we're all in the wrong spot.
Oh dear.
I
I'm
am
so
now
sorry.
Sky. I cannot do
I
a southern
think
accent, and I
if
apologize.
Cher turns her camera on, I think
There we
we'll be
go.
fine.
Yes.
There we go.
Yay!
I'm so sorry, y'all. I literally was just sitting here listening to y'all, and then flip, and I'm like, okay. So I'm
The-
back.
The internet.
Today's really just
Six
Murphy's
planets
We're
in
having a
retrograde.
day.
all the way
Yeah.
around.
We're just blaming it on the
Six
planets because we can.
Okay. Okay.
Very
So
fair.
I saw Rusty's natural 20.
Yes, we
Congrats on
stopped
that.
there. So you make a
Okay.
beeline with your 30 movement speed. You are able to catch up to this green little saber-toothed weasel. Roll a fauna friendship to see if you can pick it up.
Oh gosh.
Oh my. Hmm?
Nope.
Ooh.
Oh
Oh,
no.
the dice giveth and the dice taketh away.
It
Oh,
actually,
gosh.
you go down to
No.
not bite it. You go down to hold it, and it lashes out and bites you. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll some damage.
Oof.
Which
Oh
again,
I
this will
can't
no!
be like
believe
one of
you've
the
done
only
this.
times you get damage in this game.
You can
And
get
it's
damaged in this
okay.
game?
Yeah, 1 point of
Just
damage.
the
You're
one.
fine.
Okay.
Oof.
It
Ow!
hurts. Yeah, it stings.
Youch.
But yeah, the little bite mark in your finger absolutely matches the little puncture marks in the leaves. So this is the culprit with that
Oh
20
dear.
noticing. It is whose turn is it now?
Sky.
Sky. Go ahead, roll a noticing to see if you can see where it has gone.
All right, let's see. Let's see how we do.
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
Wow!
What's your movement speed?
30.
Okay, excellent. You are able to hone in on where it is, run over to where it is. Go ahead, roll your fauna friendship, see if you can pick it up.
Yes, indeed. I will try my best. Oh,
Oh,
that's only a 10.
yeah, you actually, it just about looks like it's going to go right into your hand, and then something spooks it and it
no.
runs off.
No, oh, little friend. Oh,
I'm
you're
sorry.
even you're even squigglier than Daffodil was. Come on, y'all. Let's fly.
And
Just
then
take off after it.
Irock, it's your turn. Go ahead, roll noticing. See if you can see which way it went.
I think it's
Wait, did Tiffany?
my turn
Tithly, I'm so
next.
sorry.
Okay,
It is
yeah.
Tithly's turn.
All good. Don't worry about it.
That is my
Um,
bad.
Noticing, did you say?
Noticing,
Hmm.
yes.
Roll another natural 20. You got it.
Right?
Yeah, that was
Oh
2
my
in a
goodness.
row for noticing.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I have a question.
Yes.
One of my occupational skills is not getting lost.
Ooh.
Um, would it be fair to say that like my current focus in this moment is making sure I find this little critter and get it to a safe place that it's also, not harming the plants around it? Could I, like, I don't want to get lost wherever we are. I want to make sure I keep on my path, which is wherever this little buddy is going. Could I use that skill?
I'll
Maybe.
take that. Yeah, you are using your park ranger abilities to track and keep track of the path, maybe even predict where it's going to head to.
Yes, that is the goal.
Go ahead.
Awesome. So I'm going to use not getting lost. There's two versions of them, so I'm just gonna use this
Yep.
one.
Yeah,
15.
no issue at all. You hone in on where it is. Your movement speed is also 30, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, roll your fauna friendship to see if you can catch it. The vineyard is not very big, so it's kind of bouncing off of corners.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
This is also an occupational skill for me as a park
Woot
ranger.
woot.
And I have a park toolkit. And I would assume that sometimes I find little small animals that are in and around the park that are stuck in places or that need to be, rescued and moved. Maybe I have like a little tool. Maybe it's this blanket that I sort of like gently wrap in, so I'm not like grabbing at creatures or something like that that I can use to gently ease.
Ooh,
Um,
I would
but
say, yeah. No, you can go ahead and let's add a d4 to this fauna friendship roll. Get a little bit of an advantage. And you're gonna
oh
need
no!
it. Oh
I
no.
think I didn't use my advantage at the beginning of the game. No, wait, I did. I re-rolled it at some
Oh.
point. So,
Yeah, you
ugh,
re-rolled
no,
it on
no.
the pie, I think.
My
Okay,
goodness.
a D4 is not gonna
No, a D4 is
outroll
not
it,
going to
but
get you there. But the good
yeah.
thing
Oh,
is, this next round, it gets a little tired. So the DC is lower for this next round of
hey.
chasing. So top of the round is Iraq. Go
Cool. Do
ahead.
I need to notice it again, or do I already know it?
This is now just going to be fauna friendship because you have like
Okay.
mapped out this vineyard. It is not big. You've got a good keen eye on where it's going.
All right. So I'm looking at it. I have not
Oh my
used
Oh.
gosh. How are these?
I have not used it yet.
Go for it.
So
Reroll.
I'm going to go for my reroll, which is a
Ah,
16.
Hey.
yes, you are actually able
Hey.
to. It finally takes to this piece of pastry that you've been like chasing
All
it
right,
around
little
with.
buddy, here you go. And I'm just gonna gently sort of cradle it, and I'm like, feel okay, little buddy. This is not a good place for you, but I know a place exactly for you. In my home, I have a garden that's not, it's both bigger and smaller than this one. And I don't think the leaves will mind too much if you have a little nibble. So why don't you come home with me? And I'm like scritching it under the chin.
And it is just completely warmed up to you. In fact, it seems to almost enjoy the warmth of your hands, hooves. It is not opposed to this arrangement. It actually seems rather calm now that it has been held.
Oh, Rock, well done, well done. I bet you'd even love the figs that you have on that lovely tree behind your establishment. Oh, poor thing was just hangry. I can relate.
And it is happily nibbling at that bit of pastry that you had.
Just casually just keep feeding it. And I'm like, it needs a name. Do you have a name, little friend?
Roll a fauna friendship again to see
Oh,
if it
jeez.
gives you any indication. This place is magic.
Hey!
Yeah.
Hey!
Hey.
Its name, you get it looks you square in the eye, and you almost hear it in
Okay, 2 words.
the periphery, and he goes, Eustace.
My heart. Okay. Yeah, Iraq is like, well, and takes their little paw and shakes it and is like, it is an absolute pleasure to live with you, Eustace. In fact, I have overgrowth on my property, and I think you will help with that.
And Eustace turns his little head to the side and just is very playful and happy.
I believe this will be the start of a beautiful friendship.
So cute.
And yeah, I'm just gonna start walking away. I'm like, all right, I think we're done here. Just cradling Eustace.
Oh, baby.
Iraq's done for the day.
Iraq.
Iraq is good.
Oh my goodness, this is so
Iraq
cute.
has achieved their ultimate goal with their little saber.
You got a
so
pet. That's everyone's goal in D&D.
Everyone's goal.
Pretty much.
Yep. Laura Bailey, I'm coming for you.
Hopefully you treat Eustace better than
Oh, God.
Oh gosh, yeah,
Phoenix.
Sprinkle.
Oh my
Eustace
goodness.
will live a much better life than Sprinkle.
Well, all right. So now we have a definitive answer for the nibbles on the leaf and possibly the nibbled rope that Daffodil was tethered by.
Yes. Eustace, did you nibble on any rope?
Two of you roll a minding details to see if you can recall if the tear on the leash matches the tear in the leaves from Eustace's nibbling.
Let me see what that. Let's see. Mind in details. No, I'm not proficient in that one. Is anyone else?
Have focusing. If that's, I don't know how to apply focusing on the detail. I don't.
I'm
necessarily
gonna
know
just
what you mean by
roll
that.
for you. Let's see.
I
Nope,
should
that's-
not do minding details. You're rolling d4s.
I'm rolling d4s just to pick people. So going
Oh, okay.
counterclockwise, that'd be Tithley and Rusty. So go ahead and
Gotcha. Minding
roll.
details.
Minding details. Yes, please.
Oh, God.
Alright.
Ooh.
Wait, I rolled twice for some reason. I don't know why that happened.
I'll take that first roll then. Between the two of you, the leash looked more like a tear than a punctury bite like Eustace's teeth. It's hard to remember though. That was this morning and now it's approaching dusk.
Oh, geez, it's been a whole day.
I vote for Eustace's innocence.
For
Yeah, I
Eustace.
I
can't
think
quite
you're
remember.
biased.
You know what? You're right. I do agree. Well, it is getting on in the day. I wonder, where shall we investigate next, do you think?
You do notice at this point, because the winery sits on the ring road that goes around town. As you leave the vineyard part and come back out to the front of the ranch house, you are catching the tail end of the pie procession from the town center to
Ooh.
the mayor's house. And you see all the pies are being lovingly carried by various folk of the town on a very ornate sort of, you couldn't quite call it a parade float, but it's close.
We should probably go to the contest.
Madge, I don't want to miss this. and
Yeah.
I take off into the skies.
Oh, wonderful. And from if you're flying as well, Sky, you would both get this wonderful sunsetty bird's eye view of Oakbend. The water is glistening pink and orange and purplish over in yonder ponder pond. And the pie procession is quickly but not recklessly heading towards the mayoral manor, which is, as the crow flies, straight across from the vineyard. But the ring
As
road,
the sky flies?
as the sky flies,
That's fine.
as the sky and Tithley fly, it is a straight shot from the vineyard to the mayoral manor instead of having to go up and around the ring road. So you might get there ahead of the pie procession if you're quick.
Mhm.
Whoop.
I again
Well.
make the universal sign of uppies to Tifley, except with only one hand now because I have
Yeah.
I have Eustace in the other.
Aw.
I will take Irock up on the uppies and
And I've got Rusty. Get ready, Rusty. Hold on to your hat.
Um, Tithley already
And-
rolled the vigor check, but I'm gonna have Sky roll a vigor check to see
Yes,
if you can lift
indeed.
Rusty. Rusty's not
Oh,
big.
no.
I knew it was coming. Here we go. Vigor. All right.
It's fine.
Okay.
yay! I just totally imagined Rusty and Irock looking at each other like, "Yep."
Us.
Just holding on
Except-
to the
Except he's like this, but inside his hands is Eustace, so it's.
Oh my
But I will
goodness.
say, I actually think while we're flying in that moment, I think Irock is going to gently lean to Tifley and in a little whisper and says, "I know you seemed unsure in the moment, but you did a really great job talking to those vines. Don't doubt
Oh.
yourself so much, Tifley."
Irock. I guess I'll try. It just seems very. I don't know how Sky does it. It's
But
maybe
trying
one
is
day,
what
you know?
matters, and just knowing if you're trying, you're already succeeding because you're taking the steps to try.
You are so smart. It. Okay, but I gotta focus on. You see, you're just trying to deflect.
We like start dipping.
Not-
Woo!
yeah.
Watch out,
Yeah.
honey. You've got to lift.
Yeah. I got this, okay? Just like rises up again.
Oh my
Meanwhile,
goodness.
poor Rusty is probably like,
Yeah, Rusty, I don't know if you've ever been flown somewhere before.
I don't think so.
How
I
does
don't
this
think so.
feel? What is going through Rusty's mind?
I imagine that. Well, I feel like Sky would have picked Rusty up by his overalls, so
Mhm.
he's just kind of sitting in it, and they're kind of pulling up and kind of riding up. But as I mean, how is Sky flying? Is she flying like crazily?
Sky has a bit of a lilt, so she will kind of crest one way and then swerve the other. So yes, they've got to they've got to hold on. That's why she told you hold on to your hat because we may even do at least one loop de loop. It may happen. So
I think
Oh.
Rusty is uneasy at first, but as the lilting and sort of swaying sets in and the wind is blowing on his face, he's holding on to his hat, but it's kind of reminding him of like floating in water or something like that. And so I think after a few moments, he finds peace and calm in it.
if it helps, she does at least provide in-flight music because she has a tendency that when she's flying, especially when we're not necessarily in a hurry, she has a tendency to hum on the wind. So do 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 do, and she'll just hum a lovely tune as they go along.
That's great.
I love that. I want Sky to roll the arts check to see how lovely the singing is.
I would be happy to. Now, as far as the skills on the sheet, I
Yes.
see that they are repeated.
Mhm.
I'm assuming using one skill versus another, maybe?
Yep.
Is that how it?
Yeah, using because like for arts, for example, it uses either vigor or personality. So whichever
Got
you
it.
have a higher stat in.
Got it. Which honestly, it's the same for both of them. So here we go.
It is a
Hey.
lovely
Hey.
song.
Rusty
Absolutely
almost
wonderful.
falls asleep.
Aw.
Love
And
it.
you all touch down just outside the mayoral mansion. You know this to be the home warming party. This is where everyone joins at the end of the leaping of the hop tops, both for festivities, food, and the slightly confusing but beloved pastime presents. Whereas as you enter the mayoral manor, you see them set up on a table. These are baskets filled with things like knitting needles, paper products, books, things to pass the time in the coming winter, to learn new skills, to keep oneself cozy and occupied in these sort of slower months. But no one ever knows really whether to open them now or take one now or take it at the end of the night. There's never been a declared protocol, so you see a little bit of confusion as people come in. Some people take them, some people don't. It's up to you all whether you'd like to take it now or maybe at the end of the night. They're all the
I'm
same.
patient. I'll take it right now so I can look at it right
Wonderful.
now.
I put Eustace down and let Eustace pick the one for our home.
Ooh. Let me see. Just for funny. Eustace picks a lovely sort of mahogany, wickerish, like mahogany in color, like a dark, rich wood wicker basket with this lovely forest green yarn, a book with a bunch of leaves on the cover. You think that this might be more of a botanical manual than an actual, like, novel. Still interesting, still will make for good reading, and a couple jars of what looks to be soup mix. So various dried vegetables. You recognize some of them from Rusty's farm. Rusty had contributed. Everyone contributes to these baskets. But yeah, Eustace has picked well.
I
I peer
recognize it
over.
because it's a little dehydrated heart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Oh, and heart. Oh.
I love it.
Maybe you can make
Peer over
gazpacho.
Irox. Like, if you pour cold water in it, would that become gazpacho?
No, no, that's not how gazpacho works. But good thinking. It might become another pacho. Maybe we'll invent our own pacho.
Gazpacho just sounds like bad soup. Cold soup. I don't get it.
But think about when
Maybe
it's
it's
really
good.
hot out.
Oh. Yeah, I'm
And then,
sold. That sounds delicious. Um,
but I think you've done a very good job, Eustace. And I boop the snoot, and lift up the basket with Eustace in it. This is now Eustace's show. Um,
Eustace is just like happily like in the basket and staring at all like the
Yep.
glittering lights like a cat would almost. Just utter fascination, big pupils.
Come, Eustace, we're going to go win a pie contest.
And you get in
I
there.
think if
Yeah, go for it.
I was
Please.
gonna say, I think if there's any books on the table that have something to do, maybe a book called Peaks and Valleys catches Sky's eye. And it's probably maybe about the neighboring mountains and valleys that are just outside the confines of Oakbend. That's always a type of book that I would be interested in. She's always looking for different places to explore that she hasn't quite been yet. So,
Absolutely. You kind of peruse the table. The baskets are equal but different in that they all contain the same type of items within. And you look around and you find this sort of pale wicker basket, and it has a book with these beautifully illustrated mountains. And you flip through it quickly, and it's got cartography and descriptions of the surrounding area of Oakbend. Oakbend itself is quite isolated, but this is a more extended study of the area. And you notice that there's a credit to Tithley in there as the park ranger for some of these illustrations and factoids.
Tiddly, I've got your name in my book. Look at it flips out. Look at this gorgeous map. And she's
Isn't it
she's
great? Oh, my
geeking
favorite
out.
chapter is like, I think the 7th one where I talk about random bee facts. It's just, I had to convince them to, and as I'm saying that, and you hear this sort of like, bzz, sound from just like outside as like my little friends at the end of the day after they've done their pollinating, after they've done like, everything they do to help out the ecosystem. They've just come to hang out with me. And I look over and I say, Lord Bert, hello. And just like a moment later, you see another like tiny bee just bzz, and then I'm like, oh, there you are, Queenberry, Your Majesty. And I bow a little bit, and like
Oh,
just a little ladybug comes and settles themselves on top of my head, and I say, Darby, where is Darby? And a dragonfly also comes in, and I'm just like suddenly surrounded by like little nature friends, and I just finally feel at ease. I'm like, oh, I've missed you all today. It's been a long day. How are you all? Because I want Rosie to do a bunch of little cute animal voices.
The ladybug just kind of sits on top of your head and you hear like little quiet noise. And then the dragonfly seems very excited about something. They must have found like some amazing flowers today. And
That sounds lovely.
the two little bees kind of hover near each other, and they're and you can almost hear like a back and forth between them, almost as if they're
Oh,
arguing about details of the day.
I just like smile very widely and like just like, letting them catch me up on how the park is doing and if there's anything I need to go look at tomorrow. Just getting little bits and pieces of like information and just catching up with them. And I'll just pick a random thing. Like everything looks interesting to me. So
Mhm.
maybe I'll take like a knitting basket
Yeah.
and just
And you
like,
pick
yeah.
one, and it is this bright, sunny yellow yarn and a book that's more a series of pamphlets on various recipes. It's almost like someone put together a cookbook but didn't bind it. It's more just a couple sheets of paper, but it's very well detailed and beautifully illustrated. When you curtsied to, it's one of your bees that's the queen, correct?
Yes.
When you
Queen
curtsied,
Berry is the queen bee.
you see a couple other people that are coming through getting their gifts also curtsy. They know the drill. They are aware of
Mhm.
Queenberry.
Yeah.
They're paying their
And the
respects.
ladybug
Mhm.
is Sir Philip McFarty and is part of the Queen's Guard. So
Amazing.
when like you see the ladybug sort of like red, the things flare up when everybody curtsies, like, that's right.
Mhm.
You better show the queen some respect.
Just kind of
And I'm
flexing
like,
a little
okay,
bit with
calm
the
down.
wings.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing. And Rusty, what basket do you go for? What are you looking for in particular as you pick up a pastime present?
I think Rusty would wait till you said you can do it at the end of
Yeah,
the.
absolutely. The
Yeah.
the pickings might be slimmer by then because you see some people are
Mhm.
taking, some people aren't. And again, all the baskets are equal. They just have their own little individual flair.
Yeah, I think Rusty is more like patient about it and is fine with getting whatever he gets at the end of the day.
All right. Well, we will come back to that at the end of the festivities. Now, you all know how that thing this be one of the big holidays of the year. There's a certain order that things happen, and the first thing on the agenda is the leaping competition, the reason for the holiday, the biggest event aside from the pie contest, of course. So everyone sort of shuffles through this foyer area into a room with a roaring fireplace, a lot of food laid out sort of on the periphery, but a giant space in the middle for the leaping.
Now, yeah, would Rusty be able to enter into this competition?
Oh,
Rusty, are you
anyone can
ready?
enter. You are encouraged
Oh,
to enter.
oh, snap. Well, I think Sky would want to definitely encourage Rusty. Rusty, this is your moment. This is your time. I would love to see you win the competition for this year.
Well,
What do you say?
are y'all gonna join in too? I mean, anybody can join. I haven't had much luck. I'm kind of getting up there in age, but I'd love to
What
see
do you?
y'all do it as well.
Oh, but my friend, you've got the hop. I've got the wings, but I don't know. My legs, and she looks down at her legs because her legs end in raven-like feet. So they're good for getting over difficult terrain, you see, but not necessarily for hopping.
Well,
If we did join, we would make you look so cool
well, I think I
just by
might.
how bad we'd be.
Oh,
I have just the thing. And you see that she rifles through her bag, her messenger bag on the side, and she takes out a very special wrapped set of nuts and berries, and she says, "Listen, my friend, this right here, this is the supplement that I use whenever I have very long flights. If I'm flying out over the water and I have to go for a couple hours at a time flying without a rest. This is a great energy mix for you. I bet you it'll give you extra oomph and vigor if you go ahead and enter the contest."
Well, thank you. I'll take that gift, and yeah, I think I'll enter.
who else is gonna enter?
I do not think I rock will enter, but I rock will enter Eustace if Eustace wants to.
Okay.
He's quite a
Um,
slippery little fellow, as we have learned, so he might be good at it.
if it's a 3 or higher on a D4, no, Eustace.
Okay. Eustace ain't interested. That's fair, Eustace. It doesn't. You don't have to.
Eustace
I
has
don't.
had an eventful day.
Yeah, no, you're tired, Bubby. It's okay. Here, have some eggnog.
Oh my goodness. But you kind of see, like, there is some light music playing, and Eustace is, like, bopping along in the basket. But just kind of, you can see, like, Eustace has been fed. They are comfy, kind of snuggled in amongst the yarn, and they're getting a little sleepy. Been an exciting
Oh,
day. So we
Well, here's
have Rusty entering. Is Tithley entering?
Hmm. Yes.
Yes,
Titly will enter.
okay. Amazing. So there's a little bit of light music still playing. People are getting food. A lot of people are on the periphery. You see what's it called? A it's a not a hop top. Yeah, it's a hop top and a puff wing together. I think it's called a hopling or hop wing. That's doing some dances. She's wearing a lovely flowy blue dress, has a tambourine, is sort of doing a performance to sort of jazz everyone up for the contest ahead. And as the music hits a crescendo, she flares that tambourine and takes a bow. You see, coming from that foyer area, Mayor Montesquieu, and a lively song picks up. It says, thank you, I appreciate you all coming by today to help warm our lovely village's manor. With great pride and deference, I now pass the stage to our humble village controller Cassiopeia to lead the leaping competition. And he sort of does a little bow, and you see come through the doorway an elegant, tall, golden scaled snootling. She has the longest, most elegant snout you have ever seen on a snootling, and she carries herself in very high regard and is looking at everyone with quite a discerning eye. And she raises her hand, gives a single clap. Let the leaping begin. So anyone that wants to participate, please line up on one side of the ballroom. This will be in two parts. There will be a dancing portion and then the actual leaping portion as the music builds up. So you are
Got it.
joined by Jackson Okoa, who is a Finfolk. You know him as like the local fisherman. And there's one more, and I had their name. Help. Covantia, who's another Flora drop. You know her as sort of, she's not in town much. She goes out adventuring, seeing what life is like in the other towns. She is very restless as far as not being able to stay in one spot for very long. And she has kind of just come into town just for this. You see she's still wearing her traveling gear, this leather and fur-lined coat for those higher altitudes, those aviator sort of goggles, a helmet, the things that keep her safe when she's flying up way high. And she lines up kind of next to you and gives a nod, and the dancing begins. So I need both Tithley and Rusty to roll something. This is dancing the arts check. You tell me if you
Ooh.
want to attempt an easy, a medium, or a complex dance.
Oh
Oh.
gosh. Why do I feel real anxiety right now?
It's fine. No pressure here. In fact, as you kind of line up, you do see Holly and Efferson and Joe and Andros, all the people that you've sort of helped today. Madge is there, and they are being real encouraging. They're clapping for you two specifically and giving you thumbs up and just very encouraging sort of cheers and waves. And you feel a little like you might have a little bit more confidence going into this dance. You'll get an advantage on some of these rolls.
Hey,
Go, go,
Hey,
Yeah.
Tiddly.
amazing.
Go, go, Rusty. Go, go, Tiddly. Go, go, Rusty.
I think I'm gonna try a medium difficulty.
Go for it. That is the arts check, and Tithley as well. Easy, medium, or complex dance.
I think I'm going to go for a complex dance because I want it's not just me who's dancing, it's also Queen Berry and Lord Bird and Darby the Dragon Prince and Sir Philip McFarty. They're all a part of the routine. I was a little hesitant about showing up, but obviously everybody prepares for the event on the off chance that you do end up. So like, there have been a couple of nights after a long day of work where I go home, lock my bedroom and just like start doing my moves and setting up my routine. So I'm putting it all together today.
Amazing. So both of you go ahead and roll the arts, and I will tell you what number to add to it since you have all these fans in the crowd. Holy cow. And then with that +5 you have going on, you both ace it. Let's see what your competitors roll. This is for Jackson. This is for Coventia. Okay, so Jackson,
Hey.
whether it's that he was out fishing and his fins are slippery or there was a wet spot on the floor, you see him go into his dance and not even 10 seconds into the music, he just slips right onto his bum.
No, poor Sky. Just hates to see someone biff it, and she just leans over to iRock and says, "iRock, oh my dear Wood, that poor soul has 2 left fins.
Could I do something?
Yeah, what would you like to do?
If I can notice the poor fisherman friend of mine slipping, and because I'm doing a complex routine, could I sort of like do this like twirl and just in like how when you hold someone in a dance where they're leaning down and like
Yes.
sort of incorporate that
I'm
hurt themselves and
Yeah.
feel too embarrassed?
I'm going to say with that 18 plus 5 that you rolled for a total of 23, you see Jackson begin to slip, and right before they hit the ground, you grab their arm, pull them in, do a little twirl, and send them back to dancing, and they kind of whisper a thank you as they keep going.
I grin at them and I go back to doing my own thing. It's a very seamless thing, at least in my head.
Yeah, I mean, the roll was high enough to pull that off. And you see Conventia, she is just kind of doing a little boogie. It's not anything difficult, but she's doing it well. She's in rhythm. It's great. It's fine. And the music is swelling, getting a little faster, and you know that this is the prompt to get to one side and attempt your mighty leaps. So, are you going to attempt
gosh.
an easy, medium, or difficult leap to cap off this dance?
I've gotta try a difficult leap, right?
All right. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
your day. All right.
What are the rules on using your wings when you take a leap? Because I feel
Ooh.
like that might be a little cheating-ish.
I
So
think that would be incorporated. It's not about the distance, it's about the style. So
right. Okay, love that. Then I'll go for a difficult one as well.
Amazing. So both of you for this one, it is going to be a bustle check.
Ooh,
Okay.
straight
And then your
bustle.
+5.
Street bustle.
Let's see how stylish these leaps are. +5.
Oh,
+5.
Hey, that's pretty good.
So, okay, that does not pass for a difficult leap, Tithly. So you go to make this leap and you flare out your wings, and that flare kind of actually acts more as like a drag than a propellant. So you leap and it actually kind of just stops in midair and you drop down. It was very pretty and very stylish for the first half, but when you flared out, you just kind of went blip.
Happens. Like, I look up at Rusty, who I hope is doing better than me, and just like when I fall, and I look up and I'm like, "You got it, buddy!" And I'll just start like cheering for Rusty with the rest of the crowd.
Amazing. And Rusty, you do manage this amazing, graceful leap for a hop top of your age. You actually, let's see actually how the other competitors do before I get too far ahead of myself. Nope. Poor Jackson. Oh my gosh.
Oh no!
Yes. Get
Both
it, Rusty.
Jackson and Coventia, it's almost like they both missed the beat for jumping and they're just slightly off kilter as they go to jump. They don't wipe out, but they only go like a few feet. It is not impressive. And you can see Cassiopeia, the elegant, tall, golden snootling, kind of roll her eyes at this pathetic display. In her eyes, everyone is a winner here, though. But Rusty, more so than anyone, my goodness, you smoked the competition. You even managed a little twirl at the end. It looks
think-
amazing.
When he's in the air, also his straw hat just flies off, and then as he lands, it just floats and lands right back on his head.
And in that sort of quiet as it lands, there is a stillness, and then everyone just erupts into applause. That's the most amazing leap they've seen in years. And for it to be a hop top on the leaping of the hop tops. And the mayor goes, well, we have our winner for the dance competition. The leaping, that is. Wonderful,
bowing.
wonderful. And yeah, you are given a, what is it? They had it written down. It is a scone of pondering. This is a pastry made by the lovely Holly Tumbledown that, when eaten, gives you an advantage on any of your wits, sensibility, or personality skill checks. That'll come in handy. Let's see. And Cassiopeia has, of course, deemed you the winner. And there's some polite clapping coming from her as the mayor clears his throat and says, as is tradition, the finalists for the Hop Top Harvest Pie competition will act as final judges for the pie competition itself. So it's like a vote for others situation. Here today we have Holly Tumbledown, Efferson Voldaire, Irock, Tithly, Rusty.
Irock and Mags.
Yes. Madge. Yes.
Match.
And you see Madge kind of blush. And you see the mayor struggle to read something. Sky! As they all look at the giant 2-foot pie that your name has been attributed to.
Oh. Wait a minute. Oh, hold on. I know Sky is a little scatterbrained, but I don't believe we put her name on the 2-foot pie. That doesn't seem right, does it?
Cassiopeia clears her throat, looks a little suspiciously at you, as do other members of the village. We will now announce the winner of the Hop Top Harvest Pie competition. This year, the competition has been judged. Oh, I guess there was a little mix-up there in the reading. My bad. This year, the competition was judged by Mayor Montesquieu, Folo Haverman, and Bridget Feralis. We thank them all for their time. Without further ado, and there's a little bit of a commotion as you see Madge, still happy to be involved, but running up saying, Mr. Mayor, Miss Cassiopeia, it's with great concern that I say this, but there has been foul play. The crowd gasps. Everyone looks towards the group of you, who all have entered pies and now seemingly Sky. Each of our pies have been sabotaged, except for this group's. These these villagers have come and ruined our pies. What do you have to say for yourself?
And Mag
Well, I never.
Mag is saying this about us.
Mm-hmm. She just seems very upset. She's still thrilled, but like as you corrected and said it's Iraq and Madge's pie, she kind of like blushed, and then you could see the emotion well up in her. She's been waiting to sort of bring this to light. How do you defend yourselves?
Madge, you
Please.
can't imagine that we would be responsible for such a travesty.
We
And
went
Madge goes,
around.
well, how come everyone's pies were ruined except for your fours? And why would you make that big one that alluded to all of our misfortune?
I must say that I never would have put my name on that pie. I drew a picture of it.
Oh no.
Who'd we lose?
Oh, did we lose someone?
Trey,
Trey's
come
back.
back.
we
We
lost
lost
I
Trey.
see him, I see him, I see him.
Trey.
They're in general.
Trey, come
He's
back.
coming back.
There we go.
I
Hi,
think
Trey.
Discord is
There
being
we go.
annoying today.
It is.
Yeah,
Like
it's being
chats aren't
silly.
loading, any of that. So
Oh my goodness.
But
Sorry.
we all that's okay. We all came back in our places too, so that's good.
Sorry, y'all. I don't know
There
what
we
happened.
are.
No worries. It's the planet.
Rusty just
We've agreed.
we fell under suspicion, and Rusty just leaped away. Just
Yep.
whoop.
He was like, no, thank
I'm
you.
out.
I'm out.
I won the leaping. I'm done.
I'm
Oh
done.
no!
Don't get me
But
involved in your
yes.
mess.
So Sky takes out and produces the drawing of the pie that she made earlier, and she says, "See, I actually drew a picture of it. Now whenever would I go ahead and bake a pie to put it on display, but then draw a picture of it? I'm sorry, y'all, but that is not my pie. I only wish I could bake as well as any of you."
Well, if you didn't make it, then who did?
Well, we are trying to discover that as we speak. We've had kind of a curious day, to be sure, tracking down clues. What do y'all think? And she turns to the rest of the group.
I think he's very quiet because she's grown up with Madge, and just to hear Madge say that that they think Titley would try to sabotage them feels very hurtful. So Titley just shrugs and feels very small in this moment, doesn't really speak up.
And you have known Madge to be reactive, to have outbursts. I mean, it was apparent this morning when, oh, that's a cursed pie. But it's a little bit strange hearing it directed at you.
Yeah. Titley doesn't say anything. She just stands there.
Well, if Sky notices how Tiffany is crestfallen, I think she would go to Madge and just put a hand on her shoulder and say, "Listen, there's no reason to be untoward. You can't imagine that your bestest friend would want to sabotage you in any way. And furthermore, if you remember kindly, we did come by earlier today and sorted the mix-up that happened at your bakery. Now, why ever would we try to sabotage such a splendid day? But we've helped you earlier today. Now that doesn't track."
The mix-up was at Holly's Bakery. Madge's pie
Yeah.
did get
Oh.
damaged at Holly's Bakery. But yes,
It got
it does
damaged
go
at
to like evidence that you helped out Holly. And Holly
Yes.
and all the people that you've helped today do kind of pipe up. Holly's like, yeah, they discovered that my salt and sugar had been switched. And Everson, well, yeah, and they had found out that Daffodil had been let loose, and that's the cause for my sausage going missing. And they did help me fix my stove. And Joe pipes up and is like, yeah, and they helped us with our nibbler problem. Can't see why.
I gently hide Eustace in the basket.
Not now, buddy. This is not your moment.
Right. Now, I strongly advise that we all take a be. Well, if we don't know who made this pie, do we know, storyteller, anyone who normally would enter the contest, but maybe is missing this year? That was a question that occurred to me.
Let's see. I will have two of you, Sky and one other, roll a local lore check.
Oh, yes,
I think Sky's good
ma'am.
at that.
I will roll that all day, all yay. Let's see.
Gotta
Local
go find my
lore.
notes.
Here we go.
Rusty, do you want to take a shot at it too?
Sure, I'll do it. I don't
Oh,
have a
yes,
great bonus.
please. Because, of course, even though I'm
Whoa.
proficient, I
Ooh.
rolled horribly.
Yes.
Much
Hey.
better. There it is.
It's
Yes.
Rusty's day.
Give me a second as I
Hey.
find my notes on Pie Contest. Okay, so Rusty, you would know that everyone that typically shows up to present a pie is here. Jackson didn't make one this year, even though he was the winner 2 years ago. Efferson won last year, and Madge had won 3 years ago. It's a thing where mostly Madge, Efferson, the winery folk, Joe and Andros, they're new to this because they wanted to show off the cooking potential of wine in pies. Overall, nothing seems odd besides the giant 2-foot pie. This is also your first year entering a pie as well. That might be why you're being regarded with a little suspicion, but you entered a pie. Like, you three entered your own pies.
Yeah.
One other question that occurred to me, storyteller. This is a large pie.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know of any establishment anywhere within Oakbend that has a stove that's that large?
Yeah.
Of the stoves you have seen, any of them might actually be big enough because the stoves double as heating for a lot of the homes. So the one at the bakery comes to mind. You saw that Efferson had a whole bunch of stoves in his shop for smoking, not necessarily for baking. And the stove at the ranch house at the winery was definitely big enough to also cook a pie of this size because they double as heaters.
Do we remember, since we've been at these different establishments, do we remember that there was a certain dimension or perhaps the leftover residue on the inside of other stoves? Because we saw that the last one at the winery was sparkling clean after Andros's vinegar treatment, for example.
It wasn't a
Is
vinegar.
Yeah, that one hadn't been
which
cleaned.
it wasn't even clean. Sorry,
Yeah.
but was there, because this pie was burnt, there should have been burnt residue, if it hadn't been cleaned, in another of those stoves. Did we notice that?
If
Do we
you
remember
would like
that?
to compare the big pie to everyone else's pies to see if there's any sort of
Mm.
similarities in like crust compilation
Mhm.
or
I would love to do that.
I was just going to say that maybe we could cut into the pie or see if there's like and basically just compare it against other
Yeah.
pies.
So I will the mayor lets you continue with your investigation because they want you to like prove that it's not you because this is a big scandal. So I will have all of you actually roll your choice, cooking or noticing.
Noticing for me.
Noticing from me, please.
I will do cooking.
Ooh.
Dang.
There
Oh
we
my
go.
Oh
goodness.
gosh.
Okay, our noticers.
Not all of them.
Oh.
I'm too busy hiding my
Some of
tiny
them.
criminal.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
like, no, shh, Eustace, hush.
Rusty's totally exhausted after dancing.
Yeah, you're still kind of
Oh,
like breathing
yes.
heavy. Like that was an endeavor, but man, it felt good to you still got it after all these years.
Mhm.
Tithley and Sky, as you kind of compare the pies, you do like you're not tasting, but like you can smell and poke around and cut into. The one that Holly made definitely had the salt and sugar switched. That is a given. That one was sabotaged. You look at Efferson's, and it's a sausage pie. It is what it is, and you have it on his word that it's not what he wanted to make. And then you cut into the Crescent Moon Winery pie, and it is this deep blue, lovely pie without a burnt bottom. And oh man, you rolled so high. Looking at those and then cutting into this giant 2-foot pie, it is a brambleberry pie.
Oh.
I look over at Joe and Andros.
Dun dun dun!
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh
no.
dear.
Oh no.
So present your evidence. How would you like to say? Here's
No.
the facts.
Now, I rock. I know that this is. Oh dear. Oh, I'm getting a little nervous. But Sky is not a fan of. She is as prim and proper as the accent sounds. So to have some of this decorum utterly scandalous like this, there's an anxiety attack definitely coming on
Oh no.
for her. Rock, I know that this is a very damning evidence. My goodness. I I think I may need to sit down. And she goes and she perches. She walks off to the side and she perches on a chair and kind of just is breathing a little heavy,
Mm-hmm.
but trying to calm herself down.
And everyone affords you that grace in that moment, even though a lot of people have kind of moved on, but this is a big scandal and they want to get to the bottom of it. So it's mainly the other pie contestants, the mayor, Cassiopeia, and you all that are intently focused on this.
I turn to, like, I skip Madge's gaze, but I turn to the mayor and Cassiopeia and I say, should we talk about this some? I mean, I think we have some evidence to share, but should we talk about this in a place where it doesn't, you know, em- should I don't want to embarrass or vilify people. So you see that Lee like struggled a bit, but she will then walk closer in a very soft voice, hopefully not in a way that's like, I know who did it, but
Right.
more like, here's what I think happened.
Yes, we can
sort of
go
she
over to
looks
the side room and then he'd like take you, Cassiopeia, you four can walk out into the foyer to present your evidence so it's kind of away from the crowd.
Yes, as
I
soon as
take
I
a
see them
slice of
moving, yeah,
Mhm.
I'll go to join. Yes.
I'll take a slice of that bramble pie with me and I look at Irock and Rusty and say, do you does one of you want to say something? I
Just
hear
looks
you.
very disappointed.
Oh.
Okay, well, you, we were trying to figure out what went wrong, all right? And we went over to Andros and Joe's. We went to the Crescent Moon Winery, and Andros confided in us that they've been having a difficult time at the vineyard, and they just wanted to secure a spectacular win. They have a really delicious pie that isn't burnt like they originally claimed, but my theory, and I think our theory, is that they created this and caused a lot of this ruckus just so their pie stands out even more. Like so this is memorable. And what's more is that I we helped them with the bramble issue. They had a lot of brambleberries creeping in on their plants, and you can ask Irok. We talked to the plants and made sure they wouldn't go, encroaching on their vines. And I think the brambles listened, but the fact that they have this massive bramble pie, I don't know. I feel really I maybe it's worth talking to them.
And the mayor and Cassiopeia kind of look at you, look at the pie, and well, I know that they have been having some trouble with those brambles that Andros planted, and it does make sense because no one really keeps them because they do choke out the starlight flowers, and they are very aggressive plants. Thank you for talking to them, by the way. They can be rather gnarly.
Of course. Irok was really kind to them.
And you see the mayor kind of nod at Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia goes back into the ballroom and comes back out with Joe and Andros. And Joe kind of looks around like, well, what is this all about then? Have you figured out who the culprit is?
Andros?
I just look at Andros.
And Andros kind of looks at you and looks at Joe kind of pitifully and looks at the pie and goes, oh my, it is true. I just can't bear it anymore. I made 2 pies, my own and the mystery pie. I had brambleberries around and that seemed like a good filling, but I should have known that it would have led right to us. But Joe didn't know. I swear, our wine sales have always been dropping this time of year, and it's so hard on Joe, and we see so few people come over to buy our wines. I thought winning the competition would help boost our sales this year, bring a little attention to the winery. If we could show you that we could make pies with our wine and that they were delicious, maybe more people would buy. But I know I'd be found out if my pie was the only one that wasn't ruined, so I sabotaged the other pies, but not my own, even though I said it was. I didn't think it would work, especially with your wonderful pies in the mix as well. But I just can't stand it anymore. I did something bad and wrong, and I've ruined the pie competition, and I'm very sorry.
That's good
Thank,
enough for me.
thank you for owning up. I think the wellness center is really a good place for you to visit soon.
And the
Yes,
mayor
and
nods in agreement.
hmm and Mr. Mayor, of course, unfortunate. This is unfortunate circumstances, but I have already spoken to Andros and Joe, and I also wanted to pitch in to help a small business because everybody knows that all the businesses here in Oak Bend are really the backbone of this community, and I hope to actually strike up a new tour to their establishment, hopefully to help them drive sales. And I encourage all of us in the community to help each other, continue to help each other's businesses so that the circumstance that has befallen them doesn't happen to anyone else.
And
Yes, I
Joe,
think.
go ahead, Irok.
Oh,
Mhm.
I think it's best we see this not as a failing of Andros, but as a failing on us for not realizing that our community member was struggling.
And Joe, who's been kind of quiet, looks over to Andrews and says, you can ask for help. We have wonderful neighbors, any one of them. I mean, you've seen the offerings of help in the past few minutes. You didn't have to resort to this. I mean, you are going to have to write several apology letters. You do know that, darling. But for now, I'm glad that you've come clean. We will go seek some wellness center counseling and get to the bottom of this. You don't ever need to think that I'm not impressed and in love with you every day. You did not have to stoop to this. I adore everything that you do. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit difficult about it sometimes, but I just want the best for you, and I do get a little annoyed with your addle-brainedness, but that's just another one of the wonderful things that makes you you, and we could have solved this in so many better ways, but we will strive towards that going forward. And grips his hands in a very reassuring way.
And if Andros has any trouble, I think Sky would want to volunteer to help to write those apology
Oh,
letters. She has proficiency in the arts. She would be happy to apply lovely calligraphy to each and every letter, and with lovely details around the edges as well to make those notes really special.
And hearing this sort of support, Joe, like, again squeezes Andrew's hands. You see, no one's angry, no one's mad, no one's cross. We are in this together and we will get through it together. Everything will be all right, darling, I promise. And a little smile creeps up on both their faces.
I think as this is going on, IROC is going to slip out of the room and go back to the main party area, if that's okay.
Yeah, where there's still music and liveliness, and people have seeing you cut into the pie, other people have started cutting into the pies, and the ones that aren't as good, mainly the salt sugar switch one, has been gently pushed to the side. Not discarded, but not being partaken in. And there's still a general jovial feel to the party.
I'd like to pull Mag aside if Mag will let me.
Madge, yes. Go ahead. Oh, yes, have you gotten to the bottom of it? I am still rather upset about my pie.
Have. But as upset about your pie, it wasn't us. It certainly would never have been Tithily. And I think you need to take a visit to the wellness center to think about your reactive time, but you also owe Tithily a very big apology. You raised Tithily and you mean a lot to Tithily, and the fact that you would accuse them in such a manner really hurt Tithily. And Tithily is a real good friend of mine, and I want you to really, before Tithily comes back out, because we have found out what happened. It's not my place to say, but I strongly would consider that you think about how you made Tithily feel and whether that was okay or not over a pie.
And you see Madge kind of think it over and nod their head and go, I know, I get so worked up about these things, especially when they affect me and mine directly, but it's not about me and mine. We're all
But
in this. We're a community.
Isn't Tithily part of you then? I mean, you raised Tithily.
Yes, and I think I lumped her in with the whole mess. I was so upset that jealousy might be the right word, because I was so caught up in my own misfortune that I didn't think to be glad that her pie didn't get sabotaged, and that was very unkind of me.
Just something to think about.
And you see them nod, and their partner Care is just kind of like patting them on the shoulder. Let's go try out that wonderful pie that Tithily made, and maybe the ube one. Let's just get a little bit of everything. And Madge smiles.
Yeah, Eric will sort of back away after that, let them
Yeah.
figure it out. But before they saw Tithily, you had that discussion with them.
Absolutely. And what is everyone else doing as the party is drawing a little bit late?
I think Sky might be drifting between clumps of folks, uh, just putting in a good word and saying, "Oh, you have no idea. The lovely wines over at Crescent Moon's Winery would be a lovely pairing right with Rusty's pie. Oh, it's divine." I think Scott would be just low key that like wing person.
Always pushing
Listening.
everyone else's.
Yes.
Blue
Just
wine and
yes.
purple pie. I like it.
Mm.
Oh, Tithily, are you re-entering the party after this?
Uh,
After
Tithily
the
just looks at
not confrontation, but after like the discussion with Joe and Andros.
um Tithily looks at Rusty and says, "Good, you won."
Ah, I'm pretty surprised. I didn't think it's gonna shake out like that. But I gotta say,
Oh,
I feel pretty good.
you should. I mean, you don't have to be modest about it. You were amazing,
But you were
amazing.
too. Your dance was. Did you like choreograph that beforehand, or?
No, I didn't. It was, of course I did. Did you think that was effortless? It took months and months of practice.
I mean, it looked effortless, but it was really was amazing.
Thank you, Rusty, for, acknowledging their contribution to the performance.
It
Do
really
you
was
want to
incredible.
thank and try some pies together? I'm feeling a little bummed out, but, you know, still hungry, so
Yeah, let's go try some pie.
I'll link, like, I'll hold one arm out to Rusty so that he can, yeah, then just like walk back in, try to like, okay, take a deep breath, a smile, and just like, yeah, go back in.
And as you come in,
But
you are immediately wrapped up, both you and Rusty, in a giant, scaly Madge hug. She picks you both up a little bit. Madge is very strong. And so I'm so sorry. I was just so caught up in the scandal of it, and I did not mean to put suspicion on you. Your pie came out so beautifully, and so did Rusty's, and so did Rock's, and I didn't know what to do, and I let my jealousy get the best of me, and I'm so sorry. And she's just kind of like hugging you back and forth.
quickly lets the apology play out because she does think she deserves it. So, um, like, thank you for apologizing. I can't breathe. Could you put me down?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
sorry, dear. And she puts you both down. I will make it up to you
Okay.
somehow. I promise. I will go to the wellness center. I will make sure that I get this sort of reactiveness under control. And we're going to have a wonderful family dinner tomorrow. And it'll be great. And she's just kind of like apologetically babbling at this point.
Just You've apologized, that's enough, but I do think the wellness center might be a good idea if I can get outside if you want just to feel safe and supported. I'll I'd be happy to just accompany you. Whatever you need, and it's don't feel too guilty or too bad. It's really okay.
And
Thank you for apologizing though. It means a lot.
big, warm, toothy grin as she's just nodding with what you're saying and feeling reassured and happy.
But I won't do the dishes for a whole week.
That's fair, my dear. That is absolutely fair. Care, will you help her with the dishes? Or help with the dishes.
And I think Sky says, "Oh, Rock, can I borrow you for a moment? I think it's a good
yes.
time to check in with Andros and Joe, and maybe schedule that appointment of theirs at the wellness center, and I can go ahead and start scheduling their tours. What do you say?"
I think that's a good idea. Although I did want to hear before we left, who won the pie contest?
Oh, absolutely. Oh gosh, I've messed up everything. One moment. We're fine.
Rusty, Rusty,
Rusty.
Rusty.
Please.
Oh my goodness. So let's see. This is going to be a series of roles that act as votes. So I'm not going to tell you whose is whose until the end.
Okay.
There were
Does what we rolled on our pies factor into that at all?
yes, because most of you rolled very well. I know yours was like the highest of them all, and you did that fancy little caramelization with your hooves. So I will say Irox gets a +4, Tithles will get a +3, and Rusty's will get a +2. Let's see.
Yay.
How many pies were there? That 3 is gonna be Holly's.
Oh no.
That's actually like really all in a row. Okay, so
Mhm.
do. Bum bum bum.
Well, number 19 there is
Yeah,
very lucky indeed. Mm.
I'm doing the math. Oh, it's actually close. Okay, so you see towards the end of the night, after people have eaten most of the pies except for Holly's, there is a sort of hush that settles over as Cassiopeia and the mayor walk up. Andros and Joe have rejoined the party. There's a sort of understanding that something went down, but everyone is still embracing the spirit of the holiday. Cassiopeia clears her throat and says, "We have the winners of our pie contest. In third place, we have..." I had it. Sorry, I need to write this down so I get it right. Sorry.
Oh, I can't believe you've done this.
I know. Suspense. It was math on a Friday.
It's on a
Oh,
Friday.
let us tell you about Starlight and why we're raising funds for Starlight.
Oh my
Right.
gosh.
You're a wonderful
Starlight is an
charity.
incredible charity that helps the children in hospitals and makes their stay comfortable. Our goal is $500. We're currently at $135. There are many different tiers to
Yes.
donate at. Please
Woo!
do. You can even get a sticker pack with all of our beautiful characters if
Sticker
you'd
pack
like.
is great.
And yeah, it's amazing.
My
Please donate.
character's on a sticker, y'all.
Look at them.
How cool.
Adorable people. Look at them. It's absolute sweet peas. Rusty's hat, Sky's little bag, and the absolutely beautiful details on Tiffany's wings. And then there's that
And
schlub
the-
rock.
It's
And
wonderful.
the lovely details on iRock's horns, of course.
that
I
match,
mean,
and it is so great.
woo.
Okay, this came down to
Oh,
1
Lord.
point. I'm gonna let you know.
Wow.
So in
Whoa.
third place, we have Tithly, and there's some polite clapping.
I bow.
In second place, says Miss Cassiopeia, we have iRock. There's some polite clapping. And in first place, we have the Juicy Ube Pie by Rusty. 1 point,
He
y'all.
just hops straight up into the air.
Amazing.
It's Rusty's night.
Well, it is so rare that we see someone sweep the competitions, but Rusty, this is your year, my friend. And Cassiopeia's a big flourish as she points to you, kind of Vanna Whiting Rusty.
I'm gonna
And-
run over to where Sky is,
hmm
and I'm just gonna give her a big old hug.
Aw, I love it. Very cute.
Oh, whatever was that for, my friend?
Well, I wouldn't have known about the ube if it wasn't for you.
Oh,
No.
that's right.
Well, my friend,
Oh.
well, my friend, you have taken this fruit of the earth and turned it into the most delectable pastry ever. So, congratulations to you. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
And
I'm-
she hugs him back.
I just hug her tight.
And there is a prize of 500 gold for winning the pie contest. So you can go ahead, add that to
Ooh.
your inventory.
Ooh,
Get that
nice.
money.
Yes.
Is there a second and third place prize?
There's not, it's just bragging rights.
Ouch. Somebody clip that.
I'm sorry. Literally
That's
down to
okay.
1 point. I promise you.
No, no.
My goodness.
It is as it was intended. The Juice Ube must win.
The juicy
Wow.
ube.
Yes.
The Juice Ube.
Coveted prize indeed.
Oh.
Goodness.
But in the end, the giant pie couldn't see into the future, but it did see into the hearts of the villagers of Oakbend. Perhaps everything here isn't as perfect as it seemed at first, but we are working on it together. Especially during the holidays, we can all feel a little bit lonely or unwanted or imperfect at times. That lesson may be the true blessing of the leaping of the hop tops after all. The harvest is a time for all of us to come together and support each other before the long winter ahead. You settle down for the evening with full bellies and warm hearts. As the holiday comes to a close, so do your eyes, and you wonder what else might be in store for you here in the village of Oakbend. And that's where we're ending tonight's session.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
I know we're wrapping it up a little quick, but we also started a little bit late and we have gone a little bit late. This has been such a joy to put together. We are halfway through this little mini campaign and we will be coming back here next Friday, same time, with a new Autumn in Oakbend adventure now that we have solved the perplexing pie problem. But that is all we have for you tonight. I think Girls Run These Worlds is live, so we will go and raid out to them. Let me make sure I got this right.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
New window. But yes,
Thank you, chat. You
Thank
guys
you,
are
chat.
amazing.
Thank you for the
Woo!
donation today, Anonymous.
donation.
thank you,
Thank you,
Anonymous.
Anonymous. Very cool.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. But have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Be well, be safe, and we will see you all next Friday. Love you all so much. Bye-bye.